So I just got Netflix. Yeah, it's 2020 and I just got Netflix. The first show I decided to binge was The 100. And this show has been out since like 2014 and I'm just starting to do it now. I had some hope for this show because of an Alex Myers video I watched, link in the description, but I watched the whole first season in a day. I didn't expect it to be that good. When I'm writing this, I'm already into the third season. I've only been watching the show for about 2.5 days. What I'm going to do is break down the first season, and I guess spoiler warning if you haven't already watched it, although it's been out for 6 years now. So the whole first season is centered around a group of 100 teens that quickly diminishes to less than 100 teens called the delinquents who get dropped to Earth to see it's survivable, which, shocker, but it is, because without it, there would be no show. Throughout the first few days, there's a power struggle between Clark, backed by a guy named Wells, and an assertive leader of the group, Bellamy, backed by what I like to call his bitch boy, Murphy. Now, while that's going on, we'll see a love triangle between Wells, who likes Clark, but Clark and a guy named Finn get it on, like really get it on. And Clark also happens to hate Wells, but she gets over it when he gets murdered by a 12-year-old who kills herself after Bitch Boy is framed and almost hung for murdering Wells. But that's only like one episode. No big deal. Did I mention this whole time they were being stalked and murdered by natives to the earth called grounders? One specifically that wants to ground pound Bellamy's little sister that he's really overprotective of. A lot of small encounters happen between the delinquents and the grounders, but eventually the delinquents get their hand on some guns, which makes it a sort of kind of fair fight, but really not because the grounders outnumber them like thousands to one. And they try to make peace with the grounders, but the grounders really aren't having it. And they kind of say, screw you, we want our area back and we want you dead, so we're going to attack you. And apparently the only way that the grounders can get to the delinquents' camp is by going over this really old bridge. So they decide to blow it up, which successfully somehow postpones the attack multiple days instead of just like through the empty riverbed. So they decide that the only way that they're going to be able to save themselves is to rewire the ship they dropped down in to basically relaunch their base into the sky, or attempt to, cooking the enemy alive. So while that ends the main story arc, the real end of the season is a cliffhanger that ends with red smoke grenades and some laser sights and people jumping in. Although Bellamy managed to not be inside. Bellamy and Finn both managed to escape. They don't get captured by the smoke grenades and laser sight guys. But that's for the next season, so I'm going to leave that here. And maybe if this gets enough views and likes, I'll make a part 2 for season 2. Like, comment, and subscribe, and make sure you wash your hands.